Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
Great. So today we're tackling AI.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to ignore right now.
Definitely everywhere you look, right?
Yeah, and it can feel kind of overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin?
Right. Like, is it going to take over the world, steal all our jobs? Are we all going to be ruled by robots?
Well, maybe not quite yet, but those are definitely questions we need to be asking.
For sure. So to help us unpack all of this,
Hmm.
we've been looking at some pretty interesting stuff on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Oh yeah, X. I've seen some pretty heated debates happening over there.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And we also found this report about AI and something called a Type 1 civilization.
Type 1 civilization. Now that sounds straight out of Star Trek.
Right. Roy, we'll explain it all. But first, let's start with something a little closer to home, something that's probably on a lot of people's minds.
Jobs.
Exactly. I mean, everyone's wondering, is AI going to make us all unemployed? Or will it create amazing new jobs we can't even imagine yet?
Yeah, it's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
For sure. And this story about a fully automated factory in Germany really got people talking. Like, is this the future?
Yeah, it's fascinating and a little scary all at the same time, right?
Totally. So what do you think? Are the robots coming for our jobs?
Well, it's not that simple. I mean, throughout history, we've seen that new technologies often disrupt the job market.
True, like when the internet came along.
Exactly. People were worried about losing their jobs, but it ended up creating a whole new world of opportunity.
Yeah, like web developers, social media managers, jobs that didn't even exist before.
Right. And I think AI is similar. It's not necessarily about AI taking jobs, but rather about how we adapt and learn new skills.
So it's more about working with AI than competing against it.
Exactly. It's about focusing on the things that make us human.
Like creativity and critical thinking, things robots can't do.
Exactly. Those skills will always be in demand.
Okay, so maybe we shouldn't be too worried about the job situation. But what about AI safety? I mean, how do we know these super intelligent machines aren't going to turn on us?
That's a valid concern for sure. But the good news is there's a lot of research and development happening in the field of AI safety.
Oh, that's good to hear. So what kind of things are being done to make sure AI is safe?
Well, for one thing, there's a lot of work being done on creating fail-safes and kill switches.
So like an emergency stop button for AI.
Exactly. And there's also a big push for explainable AI.
Explainable AI.
Yeah, it basically means making AI systems more transparent so we can understand how they're making decisions. That way, if something goes wrong, we can figure out why and fix it.
That makes sense. So it's kind of like having a behind-the-scenes look at how AI works.
Right. Transparency is key when you're dealing with such powerful technology.
Definitely. And that brings us to another big topic, AI ethics. I mean, how do we ensure that AI is used for good and not for evil?
That's a huge question, and it's something that's being debated all over the place right now.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty intense discussions on X about this very thing.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but essentially, AI ethics is about making sure that AI aligns with human values.
So like making sure it's used fairly and doesn't discriminate against certain groups of people.
Exactly. And also making sure that it doesn't infringe on our privacy or autonomy.
Right. I mean, we don't want to end up in some dystopian sci-fi movie where robots are controlling our every move.
No, definitely not. But I do think it's important to have these conversations about the potential downsides of AI, even as we celebrate its amazing potential.
For sure. So we've talked about jobs, safety, and ethics.
Mhm.
It's clear that AI is raising a lot of big questions. But before we get too bogged down in the potential risks, let's shift gears and talk about the incredible things AI could do to make the world a better place.
Absolutely. I mean, AI has the potential to revolutionize so many different fields.
Okay, so let's hear. What are some of the ways AI could be a force for good in the world?
Well, for starters, AI could help us solve some of the biggest challenges facing humanity, like climate change and poverty.
Oh, wow. Those are some pretty lofty goals. How could AI help with those?
Well, for instance, AI could help us develop new clean energy technologies, reduce waste, and optimize resource management. It could also help us personalize education and healthcare, making them more accessible and effective for everyone.
That sounds incredible. So AI could potentially help us create a more sustainable, equitable, and healthier world.
Exactly. It's all about using this powerful technology to improve the lives of people and the planet.
I love that. AI for good.
Absolutely. AI for good.
All right, so we've talked about the big picture impact of AI, but I'm kind of curious about the nuts and bolts. Like what's actually going on under the hood? What makes AI tick?
Oh, that's a great question. because, yeah, it can seem kind of like magic sometimes, but it's really all about data and algorithms.
Data and algorithms. Okay, so break down for me, what are we talking about here?
Well, one of the key technologies behind AI is machine learning. And basically what that means is we're training algorithms to learn from data.
Okay, so it's like teaching a computer how to think.
Kinda. It's more like teaching a computer to recognize patterns and make predictions based on the data it's given.
So like if you show a computer a million pictures of cats, it'll eventually be able to recognize a cat on its own.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about pattern recognition. The algorithm learns to identify the features that make a cat, the pointy ears, the whiskers, the tail, and then it can apply that knowledge to new images it's never seen before.
That's pretty cool. So is that how things like facial recognition work?
Exactly. Facial recognition is a great example of machine learning in action.
I see. So what about deep learning? I've heard that term thrown around a lot too. Is that related to machine learning?
Yeah, definitely. Deep learning is actually a subset of machine learning. It uses something called artificial neural networks, which are inspired by the structure of the human brain.
Whoa, hold on. Artificial brains. That sounds intense.
Well, not quite brains, but they're designed to process information in a way that's similar to how our brains work, with layers of interconnected nodes that pass information back and forth.
So deep learning is like machine learning on steroids.
You could say that. It allows AI systems to tackle even more complex tasks, things that traditional machine learning algorithms might struggle with.
Okay, so give me an example. What kind of things can deep learning do?
Well, one big area is natural language processing. That's what powers things like chatbots, virtual assistants, and even language translation.
Oh, wow. So like when I ask Siri to set a timer or translate something into Spanish, that's deep learning at work?
Exactly. Deep learning is what allows those systems to understand human language and respond in a meaningful way. And it's also behind things like self-driving cars.
Oh, wow. Self-driving cars.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate AI dream, right?
It's definitely one of the most ambitious applications of AI. And deep learning is crucial for things like object recognition and decision making, helping the car understand its surroundings and navigate safely.
That's pretty mind-blowing. So it sounds like machine learning and deep learning are the engines that are driving the AI revolution.
Yeah, you could say that. They're the foundation for so many of the amazing things AI can do.
Okay, so we've got the basics down, but there's this other thing I've been wondering about. Generative AI.
Oh, yeah, generative AI. That's one of the most exciting areas of AI right now.
It sounds kind of sci-fi to me. So what is it exactly?
Well, basically, generative AI is all about AI systems that can create new content. Things like text images, music, even code.
Hold on, AI can write a song or paint a picture. That's crazy.
I know, it's pretty amazing. There are AI tools now that can generate really realistic images from text descriptions. You can literally type in what you want to see, and the AI will create it for you.
That's wild. So like I could type in a cat riding a unicorn on a rainbow, and the AI would actually generate an image of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty mind-blowing. And there are also AI systems that can compose music in different styles, write poetry, create video game levels. The possibilities are endless.
Wow, it sounds like we're on the verge of a whole new era of creativity where AI is collaborating with humans to create things we never thought possible.
I think so too. It's a really exciting time to be working in AI.
It definitely sounds like it. But with all this amazing potential comes some challenges, right? Like what about bias? I've heard that AI systems can sometimes be biased, which is obviously a big problem.
Yeah, bias is definitely a major concern with AI. And it basically stems from the fact that AI algorithms are trained on data that's created by humans. And humans, we're inherently biased.
Right, we all have our own prejudices and assumptions. So if an AI system is trained on biased data, it's going to learn those biases and perpetuate them.
Exactly. So for instance, if you train an AI system to screen job applicants using a data set that's mostly made up of resumes from men, the AI might learn to favor male applicants over female applicants.
Oh, wow, that's a really good example.
Yeah.
So how do we address this problem? How do we make sure AI is fair and unbiased?
Well, it's a complex issue, but one of the most important things is to be really careful about the data we use to train AI systems. We need to make sure it's diverse and representative of the real world, and that we're actively working to identify and mitigate any biases that might be present.
So it's kind of like teaching AI to be more aware of its own biases
Yeah.
and to actively try to overcome them.
Yeah, exactly. It's about building ethical considerations into the very core of AI development.
That makes sense. So what about the black box problem? I've heard that sometimes even the people who create AI systems don't fully understand how they work.
Yeah, that's another big challenge. As AI systems become more complex, especially with things like deep learning, it can be hard to understand exactly how they're arriving at their conclusions.
So it's like the AI is making decisions, but we don't know why.
Kinda, yeah. And that can be a problem, especially if we're using AI in areas like healthcare or criminal justice where the stakes are really high.
Definitely, you'd want to be able to trust that the AI is making the right decisions and understand the reasoning behind those decisions.
Right. And that's why there's a growing push for explainable AI, which is all about making AI systems more transparent so we can understand how they're making decisions.
So it's like opening up the black box and shining a light on the inner workings of the AI.
Exactly. Transparency is key when you're dealing with such powerful technology.
Totally makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about some of the potential benefits and risks of AI, but now let's bring it back to that concept of a Type 1 civilization that we mentioned earlier. How could AI actually help us reach that level of advancement?
Oh man, that's where things get really interesting. Remember, a Type 1 civilization is all about harnessing the full energy potential of a planet.
Yeah, like becoming a truly sustainable and energy-abundant civilization.
Exactly. And AI could play a huge role in making that happen. For instance, AI could help us manage energy grids more efficiently, optimize the use of renewable energy sources, and even develop new technologies for clean energy production.
So it's like AI could be the brains behind our planet's energy system, making sure we're using energy wisely and sustainably.
Right. And AI could also help us with things like resource management, making sure we're using our planet's resources responsibly and minimizing waste.
That's incredible. So AI could potentially be the key to solving some of our biggest environmental challenges and creating a more sustainable future for everyone.
I think so too. But reaching a Type 1 civilization isn't just about technology, it's also about global cooperation and a shift in our collective mindset.
Yeah, we need to be willing to work together and make some big changes in the way we live.
Exactly. But I do think AI could be a powerful catalyst for positive change. It could help us see the possibilities for a better future and inspire us to take action.
That's a really hopeful message. Okay, so AI could help us reach a Type 1 civilization, which sounds amazing. But let's be realistic. What are some of the challenges we might face along the way?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is making sure that AI is developed and used ethically and equitably. We need to make sure that the benefits of AI are shared by everyone, not just a select few. And we need to be mindful of the potential for unintended consequences, like job displacement or the misuse of AI for harmful purposes.
So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some real risks we need to consider.
Definitely. But I think the key is to approach AI with a balance of optimism and caution. We need to be excited about the possibilities, but also aware of the potential pitfalls. And we need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
That makes sense. It's all about finding the right balance, you know,
Yeah,
harnessing the power of AI for good while also making sure it doesn't get out of control.
exactly. It's a delicate dance, but I think it's a dance worth doing.
I agree. This has been a really thought-provoking conversation. We've covered a lot of ground,
Yeah.
from the technical aspects of AI to the potential for it to reshape our world, both for better and for worse.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore in the world of AI.
I know it's a truly fascinating and rapidly evolving field, but for now, let's take a step back and consider what we've learned today. What were some of the key takeaways from our exploration of AI so far?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that AI is incredibly powerful and has the potential to revolutionize countless aspects of our lives. From healthcare and education to transportation and energy, AI is already making a huge impact.
And it's only going to become more influential in the years to come, right?
Absolutely. AI is still in its early stages of development, and we're only just beginning to tap into its full potential.
It's pretty exciting to think about what the future holds for AI. But as we've discussed, it's not all about the amazing possibilities. We also need to be aware of the potential risks.
For sure. Things like bias, the black box problem, the potential for job displacement. These are all real concerns that we need to address.
And ultimately, it's up to us as a society to decide how we want to use this powerful technology, right?
I couldn't agree more. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil. It's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
Well said. This has been an incredibly enlightening conversation. We've covered so much ground from the technical aspects of AI to the potential for it to reshape our world both for better and for worse.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore in the world of AI.
I know it's a truly fascinating and rapidly evolving field. But for now, let's take a step back and consider what we've learned today. What are some of the key takeaways from our exploration of AI so far?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that AI is incredibly powerful, and it has the potential to revolutionize countless aspects of our lives. From healthcare and education to transportation and energy, AI is already making a huge impact.
And it's only going to become more influential in the years to come, right?
Absolutely. AI is still in its early stages of development, and we're only just beginning to tap into its full potential.
It's pretty exciting to think about what the future holds for AI. But as we've discussed, it's not all about the amazing possibilities. We also need to be aware of the potential risks.
For sure. Things like bias, the black box problem, the potential for job displacement, these are all real concerns that we need to address.
And ultimately, it's up to us as a society to decide how we want to use this powerful technology right.
I couldn't agree more. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil. It's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
This brings us to the end of part 2 of our AI deep dive. We've explored the technologies behind AI, the potential benefits and risks, and even the ambitious goal of achieving a Type 1 civilization.
It's been a fascinating journey so far, and we're not done yet. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll delve into some of the most exciting and cutting-edge applications of AI, exploring how this technology is already changing the world.
And we'll leave you with a question to ponder something, to spark your own thoughts and discussions about the role of AI in shaping our future. So stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap up our deep dive and leave you with some food for thought. All right, deep divers, welcome back for the final part of our AI exploration. In this last part, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about how AI is already being used to make a real difference in the world, like solving actual problems.
Yeah, it's super inspiring to see AI in action, like moving beyond the theoretical and actually helping people.
Totally. So let's start with healthcare. I mean, AI has the potential to completely change how we diagnose and treat diseases.
Oh, yeah, for sure. AI is already making waves in healthcare. Like, there are AI systems that can help doctors detect cancer earlier, before it's too late.
Wow, that's amazing. Early detection is so crucial with cancer. So how does that work? Does the AI look at scans or something?
Yeah, exactly. AI algorithms can analyze medical images like X-rays and MRIs with incredible accuracy. They can spot things that even the most experienced doctors might miss.
That's incredible. It's like having a second set of eyes, a superpowered set of eyes.
Right. It's not about replacing doctors, though. It's more about giving them an extra tool to make better decisions.
Definitely. And I've also heard about AI being used to personalize treatment plans.
Oh, yeah. Personalized medicine is a huge area where AI is making a difference. By analyzing a patient's genes, lifestyle, medical history, all that stuff, AI can help create a treatment plan that's tailored specifically for them.
So it's like custom-made medicine.
Exactly. And that can lead to much better outcomes, treatment that's more effective and fewer side effects.
That's amazing. So it sounds like AI is already having a really positive impact on healthcare.
Absolutely. And it's only going to get better as AI technology continues to evolve.
So what about other areas? Is AI making a difference in other fields too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Education is another big one. Imagine a world where every student has a personal tutor. Someone who can adapt to their learning style and pace.
Wow, that'd be incredible. I mean, I remember struggling with certain subjects in school, and it would have been so helpful to have someone who could explain things in a way that made sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what AI-powered tutoring systems can do. They can provide personalized feedback, identify areas where students are struggling, and even recommend specific learning materials.
So it's like having a teacher who's available 24/7 and knows exactly how to help you learn.
Right. And it can be especially helpful for students who might not have access to traditional tutoring services.
I see. So it's kind of leveling the playing field in a way, making education more accessible and equitable.
Exactly. And AI can also help teachers, it can automate some of the administrative tasks that teachers have to do, freeing up more time for them to actually teach.
Oh, that's great. So AI is helping both students and teachers.
Absolutely. It's really transforming the education landscape in a lot of positive ways.
Okay, so healthcare and education, those are two huge areas where AI is already making a difference. But what about some of the bigger global challenges like climate change? Can AI help us tackle those issues too?
Definitely. Climate change is a massive problem, and AI has the potential to be a game changer in finding solutions.
Okay, so how can AI help with something as big and complex as climate change?
Well, for one thing, AI can help us understand the problem better.
Yeah.
Like It can analyze climate data, predict extreme weather events, and track deforestation
Oh,
patterns.
so AI can kind of help us see the big picture and understand what's happening to our planet.
Right. And that's crucial for making informed decisions about how to address the problem. But AI can also help us find solutions.
Or really, like what kind of solutions?
Well, for instance, AI can help us optimize energy grids, make renewable energy more efficient, and even develop new technologies for carbon capture, taking carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere.
Wow, that's amazing. So AI can help us both mitigate climate change, reduce emissions, and adapt to the changes that are already happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's a powerful tool that can help us create a more sustainable future.
That's incredibly encouraging. So we've
Mhm.
talked about healthcare education, climate change. It seems like there's no limit to what AI can do.
Uh, yeah, it's pretty incredible the potential that AI has to make a positive impact on the world.
It's definitely inspiring. But as we've discussed before, with all this potential comes a lot of responsibility. We need to make sure AI is used for good and that the benefits are shared by everyone.
Absolutely. It's crucial to approach AI development and deployment with ethical considerations in mind. We need to make sure AI is fair, transparent, and accountable, and that it doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities.
Totally. It's a big responsibility,
Totally.
but I think it's one we need to take seriously.
For sure. The future of AI is really in our hands, and it's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. This has been an amazing journey exploring the world of AI. I feel like we've learned so much, from the technical details to the ethical considerations to the incredible potential for positive change. It's been quite a ride.
I know, right? AI is such a fascinating and rapidly evolving field, and it's only going to get more exciting from here.
Definitely. So for all our listeners out there, we leave you with this question. What role do you want AI to play in shaping the future? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate this incredible technological landscape.
Absolutely. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversation about AI because it's a conversation that's going to shape the world we live in.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this AI deep dive, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.